Hey guys, welcome back. So, if you look at the last class, I was talking about what are the add methods we have in the hasset, and we have seen that how we can add the object to the hasset, linked hasset, and tree set, right? Here it is a extension of a hasset, and here we will try to understand how we can add custom object to the hasset, right? So in last class, if you remember, I was adding the primitive data type, but here we will see that how we can add the custom object. So if you look at this example, we have a class, okay, and then we have a main method here, right? Class and main method. Now what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create the object of hasset, and you know that like this we can create the object of hasset, or what we can do here is we can write set control space bar, and you can see that this comes from Java util package. Click on that, and here the type of object which you are going to store. So I am going to store custom object which is of type person, and then I can just do control space bar. It will give you the options to create the reference. So click on set is equal to new and then hashet, okay, and here you can write a parenthesis. So this way we can create the object of hasset. So both are fine, okay. In one object I am taking the reference of parent class, in other one I am taking the reference of child class, so both will work fine. The benefit here what you will get is when you will make the reference of child class, you can use the method of child class as well as the method of parent class at compile time, because you know that at compile time method call happens from the parent reference class, okay. So whatever class you have made the reference, method will call will happen from the reference class, but at the runtime it will check the method in the child class first. If it is not available, then it will go for the uh, parent class. So here you can see that as we can store the object in the hasset of type person. So in the same class you can see that this is my starting of the class, this is ending of the class. So guys, one more thing, in the same class, in the same .java file you can write a class, okay. Sometimes what happens is you don't want to make a separate class. Yes, you can do that, okay. You can write the class in the same Java file. You can see that I'm writing a same class, person class, and this class has two attribute, two global variable, age and name, and these two variable I am initializing through a constructor. So this constructor, when I will make the object of this parameterized constructor, this value will get initialized, and then we have a corresponding getter and setter. And by now you might be familiar of how to make getter and setter. I will show you one more time. In fact, I will show you from beginning so that you will not have any confusion. So you can see that this is the starting of my class, this is the ending of the class. I'm coming outside of the class, I'm writing on person class, okay. And you can select this, then do a right click, go to the source and click on constructor using fields. So click on that, you select these two fields and click on generate. So what will happen, automatic one constructor will get created. Maintain the sequence, always keep the variable on the top. This is as a conventions, there is no hard and fast rule, you should always keep on the top, okay. Now select these two fields, right click, go to the source, and then you do implement getters and setters, okay. So select these two fields and click on generate. So you can see that the getters and setters is also generated here. So do control X and print it here. Now once this is done, do control A and then you do control shift F, okay. This will format your code, all alignment will get fixed. But one thing what you can do, that is you cannot write two public class in same Java file. You cannot write two public class, okay, you cannot. So when you are making more than one class in the same Java file, make sure that your second class should be default, okay. It should not be public. Like if you will make both the class public, okay, compiler will give you compile time, because the problem what happens is, see, this person comes under this Java file, right? So when you try to access, let's say if both is allowed, okay, and when you try to access from the outside, basically what it will do, client will make the object of this class. When client will make the object of this class, he cannot access person class, right? And directly you cannot make the object of person class from outside. From outside you cannot make the object of person class, because this class name is a set class with custom object. Okay, so make default first thing. The second thing is why this is default. Okay, so that this has access only to this class. Okay, so if you look at the default access in case of methods, it has a different concept altogether, which we have seen that when I was talking about this access modifier, right? But in case of class, you know that it has only two access, either public or default. So when you make class as a default, so what happens is, let's say this class is default class, okay, and this class is the public class. So if I will go here and if I write other class, let's say test default, and here I will write a main, main control space bar, and if I will try to make the object of persons class, okay, 20 and 30, okay, one is a string, right? So write just test. Okay, I'm able to do that, right? You can see that we are in the same package. I'm able to do that, and I can also call obj dot get age. This will work fine, there will not be any issue. But let's say if I will go in some other package, okay, let's say I will go here, okay, and make one class here, test default 1. okay, now I went to different package. You can see that earlier it was here, I came to different package altogether, and what I will do, I will copy these things. So when I copy these things, you can see that it is asking me to import. Okay, and now the problem is, if you look at this person class we have in other package also, and originally where this was created, this package name, you can see that set class is the package where you have this person class, right? Inside that you have a person's class, it comes under this package, set class package, right? Now when you go here and when you place mouse over here, see import, you are getting that some other package. So this class is already available in some other package, you are getting options for that. So for you, what I will do, I will go here and I will refactor this. I will make it to 1 2 3, sorry, person 1 2 3. So this is not available anywhere, and click on enter. Okay, always guys, always do refactor, do not do rename. When you do refactor, okay, when you do right click and when you do refactor and then rename, and whatever you type here, okay, if I'll type 4, and when you can see that all references are getting changed, and then click on enter. When you do that and click on continue, all the references will get changed in one shot. Okay, so always do refactor. Now I should not get any other import. Okay, now look at here, are you able to access this class from other package? No, right? Because it is a default class, you can access only in the same package. I'm not able to access from the different package. This guy is in stack package and this guy was in set class package, right? But in the same package I can easily run that, even though it has a default access. Okay, you can see that it is working fine, I'm able to get the age. But when I go to the some other package, I cannot create object of this class, so I cannot access this class. Now if I go here and if I will change public, if I'll change to public, now what will happen is, when you place mouse over here, it will tell you when you are making a class as a public, please make sure that you are defining its own file. So you cannot write two public class in the same file. You cannot write two Java public class in the same file, right? So now it is clear for you why compiler will give you compile time, because the two public class you cannot write in the same file, same Java file. But yes, you can write a default class. And the benefit here is, what benefit I will get? You might be wondering why this guy is writing this class in this. Sometimes what happens is, you have a requirement where your class is very specific to the package, one package. So generally when you work on project, okay, so what happens, project will have, let's say this is a big project, okay, and it has a lot of module. So when I have to explain you, I can explain like this. This is a big project, right? This is a big project. It has a lot of modules. These are the modules, okay. Now I have 5 class. I have 5 class to this module, right? So how many class I have? I have 5 class. Now I have 5 class to this module, and this has 5 classes under one package. Now there is one bin class, okay, there is one bin class. So in Java, whenever you create object like this, we call it as a bin class. The bin is nothing but your object, okay. So if you look at this, person is nothing but a placeholder which will hold the data. This guy will not do anything. So assume that this is the bin class, okay, this is the bin class. In that case, you can make this class in one class. You can create this default class in one class. There will not be any issue. There will not be any issue. You can make this class as a default class. There will not be any issue. Then you might be thinking, why can't you write this variable, these two variable in this class itself? If you write this two variable in this class itself, then I cannot create a hash set which will take custom object, because to do that I need to have the object, and to have the object I need to have a separate class. So right, this is the one requirement where we usually do that, okay, if there is one class specific to the package. The second thing is, I want my code to be more readable. And I want my code in the systematic manner. See, writing code is not a big deal. Anyone can write the code, but how you design the code, how beautifully you design the code, that's what it matters in the company, okay. So when you are designing the code, make sure that you are following the proper way, right? So generally here my hash set will take one object. Let's say, assume that now your requirement is, you have one class. That class will help you to add the data to the hash set, but the data which you are going to add, it is of custom object, it is of type custom object. Even in that case, create one default class, so that what will happen, this part is separate, it has no relations at all. This part is separate, both part is separate, right? And even this object you can store only in your one package. You cannot go outside, right? That is the reason I have designed like this, and this is the new concept I wanted to teach you. So even in future, in your project, if you have such kind of requirement, please make a default class in the same file, and you can write the bin class. The bin is nothing but the object, okay. Please remember this terminology. Bin is nothing but object. I'll be using that going forward. So I have created a bin class, and my hash set will take object of person. So you can see that since this guy will take the object of persons, I'm creating the object of persons. If you look at this, object has a name and age. So I'll do 10, and then I will do let's say 20, and then I will do 30. So this is the age, and this is a person's name, Ram Mohammed Thomas, okay. These are the person name, and these are the bin class which I am going to store. Now if you look at, if I print this, since I have added custom object in my hash set, if I print this, what will happen? If you look at the previous example, when I was printing the object, what happens is, in your hash set, toString method is overridden. So if your hash set has a data of type primitive or a string class, it will print the data, because the toString method will get called and it will print the data. But the problem here, you can see the output object is getting printed. The reason being is this toString method is not overridden in your custom class. This toString method is not overridden in your custom class, so it will not print the data. To do that, what you have to do here is right click in, select these two fields, right click in your custom class, go to the source and click on toString. Okay, you can see that these two fields are selected, age and name, and click on generate. So when you do that, one toString method will get generated here. So bring this down, right? So now toString method is generated here. You can see that whatever string you have in the double quote, it will get printed as it is, and whatever you have in the plus, the value for that it will get printed. Again, whatever you have in the double quote, it will get printed as it is. Whatever you have in the plus, the value of that will get printed. Now what happens is, on every object, when you print this object, inside this object, what you have added 3 objects. Inside the hash set you have added 3 objects, 3 person object. Now since you have overridden toString method, on your every this persons 1 2 3 4 object, this toString method will get called, and when this toString method will get called, it will get print age and name with this string. Now when I run this, your output will be different. Look at this. Now you can see that this is your first object, whatever you have in the comma. So person is the class name and two fields, age 10, name Ram, then person 1 2 3, age 30, name Thomas, and person 1 2 3 4, age 20, name is Muhammad. So you can see that everything is coming comma separated, which means this is one object data. Okay, clear? So that's how guys you can add custom object in the hash set. Now let's say same example. If I will change instead of hash set, if I will make to linked hash set, what will happen? We will see that. I will go here and I will just change to linked hash set, and I will do an import. So just place mouse over here, click on Java util package. So this guy is present in the Java util package, and then go and change the name here also, and then change it, start with the small letter. Reference name should be always starting with the small letter, then call the same method, right? Now if I will go and if I will print this linked hash set, let's see the output difference. What is the output difference? We need to understand. When I changed hash set to the linked hash set, okay, you can see that there is output difference 10, then you have a 20, and then age is equal to 30, which means it is maintaining the insertions order. So your linked hash set maintains the insertions order. You can see that it is maintaining the insertions order, okay, but this guy, your hash set, will not maintain the insertion order. Now what I will do, I will change to tree set, and I will see that what happens. Whether this will work or not, we will see that. So go here, and instead of linked hash set, you do tree hash set. Again, just place mouse over here, click on import Java util package, because whenever you use any collections class, you have to import these guys. You have to import, because this every class is coming from the Java util package. Okay, now copy this, change it here, and here you do tree set. Okay, start with small. So if you remember, in last video I was talking about tree set, it will maintain your data in the ascending order. Okay, if you remember, when you have added data of type primitive or a string, it will maintain your data in the ascending order, the tree set. But let's see that what happens in case of custom object. See here, what you will get? You will get cast exception. So this is very important interview point. Sometimes what happens, we tend to tell that it will maintain the data in the ascending order, but the problem is you will get an exception when you try to add custom object in your yeah, when you try to add, when you have a custom object in your tree shed, and when you are trying to print that, you will get like this, class cast exceptions. Because the problem what happens is your tree shed maintains the data in the ascending order. So when you have a custom object, it will try to sort the data. Internally it has a logic. It will try to sort the data. While trying to sort the data, what happens is this sorting will not work for the custom object, right? And this I have already covered. You would have seen that when I was talking about comparable and comparator, like why we have comparable and comparator. Whenever you have a object of custom type, you cannot sort that. For that, either you need to implement comparable or you need to implement comparator. It's up to you, right? So I have covered in very details when I was talking about comparator and comparable. Here same logic will come to the picture. So guys, this you can add, but when you try to print this, you will get class cast exceptions, because whenever you add the data, the custom object data, internally what happens is tree set will try to sort this data, and since this custom object tree set cannot sort that, because this custom object should be of type either comparable or comparator, then only it can sort that. But let's say what happens when I don't print. Okay, see, I just commented the print statement. Okay, see what happens now. Even you will get exceptions. The problem is, though you print data or you don't print the data, the problem is the moment you add in the tree shed, internally the sorting will take place. And when there is a sorting, okay, and when it is a custom object and it is not a type of comparable or comparator, you will get the class cast exceptions. The problem here is, look at here now, go to tree shed. Okay, click on control, click on tree shed. Here you go to the add method, do control O and click add method. So when you go to this add method, click on that. So what it happens is, it will do m.put. Okay, when you internally it will call actually the map, and it will call the put method of the map. When you click on this put method, okay, this is coming from map.class, right? This is coming from map.class. So basically, if you go to the implementations, this put will have multiple implementations. Okay, this put will have multiple implementations. You can see that. So all put has implemented based on the requirement. Now what happens in case of tree shed? So if you look at here, this tree map, you can see that, right? Here you can see that the tree map. So this put is also implemented in the tree map, which you will have it here, this tree map. Now if you go inside the tree map, internally, see, it is looking for the object of type comparator. Okay, it is looking for a type of comparator, that is one part, or it should be of type comparable. So either it should be of type comparator or it should be a type of comparable whenever you are trying to add data in the tree set. If it is not, if none of them, okay, then it will throw class cast exceptions. Okay, but when you add only primitive data type, okay, again, which is internally it will get converted to object, but there your default sorting will work. Okay, default sorting will work. And why default sorting will work? Okay, there is a reason for that. So let's say what happens is, when I write here a string s1 is equal to, let's say, test3, let's say when I write, okay, this is the object, go to the string class, press control, click on string. Okay, when you go here in the string class, look at here, because your class implements comparable interface, so your string class is of type comparable, guys. Okay, so when you add this data into tree set, since the data is of type comparable, internal sorting will happen. Internal sorting will happen because your string class implement comparable interface. Right, now come back and write here integer I is equal to, let's say, 90. This is the wrapper class, because as you know that when you add primitive data in the hash set, internally it will do integer dot value of to convert to the object. Now press control, click on integer. When you go here, see here this wrapper class implements comparable interface. Now it is clear for you. A string class will implement comparable. Your integer wrapper class will implement comparable, which means this both either integer or a string, this is of type comparable. When it is of type comparable, your sorting will work. Your tree set will not complain you. But in case of person, this person is not implementing either comparable or comparator. None of them. Okay. So when you add this data in the tree set, it will give you class cast exceptions. So guys, this is very important interview questions. People will ask you, they will try to confuse you. Do not get confused. I am with you, get it clear. Okay, so I will do one thing. In my notes I'll put a comment, I will add it here, so that when you read this, okay, you will get an idea of what happened when you added this. So with this I will close the video. In the next video I will talk about some more concepts of the hash set. Thank you guys.